Hi, I'm Bibi. I work as a therapist in the UK. I'll be uploading every week, so keep an eye on the channel. Let's get straight into the video. There are 5 love languages, and the love languages are actually based on a book written by Gary Chapman. There are 5 love languages in total, and out of these 5, there probably will be 1 or 2 which we will feel to be our most dominant love language. And by that I mean it's the way in which we receive love and feel love. So love can be expressed in many different ways, and we're going to go through these one by one. You'll be able to see which love language you think might be your dominant one or your dominant 2, and realise then what you need in your life and how you need love expressed so that you feel loved. This can be really helpful, especially in couples, or when you think about you know, yourself and your partner or your spouse. So, the first love language we're going to look at is words of affirmation. So some of us are very sensitive to words. We need to hear the words to feel loved. And those can be words of love. I love you, you're wonderful, you're beautiful, you're my life. Words of affirmation can also include poetry, songs, anything really that has words in it. So if you're a person whose dominant love language is words of affirmation, you'll feel touched when you hear the words. Words that affirm, words that validate, and words that speak of love. Our second love language is gifts. So some of us love to receive gifts. And when we receive a gift, that's when we feel really loved. And here, I suppose we're talking about special gifts. When we feel somebody's taken a lot of trouble or a lot of thought to choose something that's just for us, you know, which is different to perhaps just picking up a box of chocolates at the supermarket. This is a special gift, and it's not necessarily to do with how much money's been spent. It's about the thought that's gone into choosing the gift. It's a very personalised thing. The third love language is quality time. For some of us, it's about spending time together, whether it's walking together in the country, on the beach, doing a project together. It could be something to do with the home or the garden. It's the quality of the time spent together, uninterrupted, where the focus is on one another. So, you know, at times we might be doing something together, you know, like a project, like a task, but above all, it's about spending that time together, being with one another, being attentive to each other's needs, creating a space for togetherness in the couple. Our fourth love language is physical touch. And some of us are very sensitive to that. It could be holding hands, hugging, kissing, but there's something very special and very loving. Physical touch, to some people, makes them feel loved, cherished, and cared for. The fifth one is acts of service. So this could be about easing the load for the other person, clearing things, making things easier for them in the form of practical tasks. So it could be anything from fixing their bike, pumping up the tyres, checking their oil, doing the washing, any practical task that's going to make their life easier. And for some people, feeling that somebody's helping them, supporting them in a practical way can make them feel very special and very loved. So out of these 5, we tend to generally have 1 or 2 dominant ones, and they can be very useful to know, especially if we are part of a couple. Because what happens? We have 2 people who maybe have 2 different love languages. So what is completely natural and what tends to happen is that if, for example, our dominant love language is words of affirmation, it's very natural that we might assume that because we feel loved in that way, we also express our love and affection through words of affirmation. Similarly, if for us our dominant love language is physical touch, we need those hugs, those caring physical gestures, we might assume then that the person we're with also needs those to feel loved. So what happens? 2 people get together, and if they have the same love language, well then they're very lucky, because they will express themselves in the way that they need to feel affection, and they will also touch the other person. But when we have 2 people who have different love languages, what can actually happen is one expresses love, perhaps in the way they feel they need to be loved and they assume the other person needs, and so does the other person. So it means they can kind of miss each other and they don't quite hit the spot. So knowing our love language can be really helpful. Once we go through the list of 5 and we're clear on which is our love language, we can then communicate this to the person we love. When our partner or the person we love understands our love language and we understand theirs, we can then modify the way we express our affection. So if we've been expressing love to our significant other through physical touch, when what they need actually is acts of service, we can modify the way that we express our love so that we hit the spot. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button. Take care and thanks for watching.